Here's some steps to updating a base map or a file that you received from outside the company. First, you want to open up and create a new drawing from the Civil Topo ENG template, and then save it into your project folder. For this exercise, I'm just going to save it into the training sample projects folder, and we'll just give it a temporary or kind of a fake name for the purposes of this exercise. Once you save the drawing, then we want to open up the drawing we received or that we've copied into our CAD projects folder, and we want to open that up. In a lot of cases, what you'll notice is maybe the textiles don't quite match the current standard, and we need to update those as well as some layers. One of the other things that we do is we'll freeze points and other entities, objects that we don't want to bring over to the file that we're going to be using to reference into our design files. So we'll just copy those, and then we'll go into our new drawing and we'll paste those to the original coordinates. We'll zoom extents, and you can see right off the bat some of the textiles have come in or updated and some haven't. Some line types have also didn't quite come over the way we kind of hoped to, and we run into that from time to time. So I'm going to show you how to fix those in a minute. The first thing that I typically do, though, is I'll go ahead and run what's called a layer translator, and you can see all the layers in the existing drawing. And so I've got a file that translates or maps all those to new layers. And so you can see the mapping here from the existing to the NCS style. So it's quite a long list of layers that got modified, but I translate and translate only. And that'll update the layers and correct the fading or get the fading ready for being a reference file. One thing that will happen from time to time is that there's line work that will appear to have been fixed might get corrupted again and might not display properly. So I'll take you through a couple of steps here to remove that line type and bring in the right one, or update it, refresh it, so to speak, so that it displays properly. First, we'll open up the layer manager and find the layers that are referencing the line type, and we'll change those over to continuous. Now I'll need to purge out those layers, or those line types, excuse me. I find the tree lines, just purge those two. And then now I'm going to reload them from the right location. And they can be found in the acad.lin file. Okay. And then now we're going to go back to our layer manager and change the default line type for that particular layer. And now whether you zoom in or zoom out, it should the line type should display properly. One of the other things that you'll want to adjust from time to time might be the dimension style. And so there's a couple of different ways, but one way is just to change the style itself, and it updates all the different various properties of the dimension, arrows, text. So here I'm just going to edit the HMP 30 scale dimension style, and we'll change that from, on the text tab, we'll change that from L100S to L100, and that'll give it that same text appearance as the other text. So now all the text is matching. Speaking of textiles, not all of them changed. You can see the labels for the contours. The textile there is still referencing the old one. So if you type in styles, it'll bring up the textile manager, and you can go through this dialog box and find the textile font that needs to be changed. So here I'm just changing those two to Arial, and when I hit apply and close, it updates all the contour label fonts. So it's quite a few there that get updated automatically. One of the other features I like to use from time to time is merging layers, especially even after running the layer translator. There might be a layer here or there. We can merge layers from one layer to another, and all the entities will move over to that. So in this example, we're going to take existing curb, top back, and put it on the V-Road curb layer. So all of those entities move over, and that layer goes away. It's good for one layer at a time type of scenarios. Another feature is the rename command, and that brings up the rename dialog box, which allows you to rename quite a few different types of objects and entities in AutoCAD. Here, I'm going to take the EX miscellaneous layer, and we can just rename the prefix using a wildcard. And that wildcard is the star symbol or asterisk symbol. Click rename, and it automatically renames that. Again, not really useful for one at a time, but where the power really comes in is when you're doing groups, especially prefixes. So if you want to move everything over from here, I'm just going to use the general, the G layers, and we'll just change that to G1. You can see that when you put in the old name, it selects the group of layers that match. So there you go. Hit rename, and it renames them to that. Again, the old name will select the grouping. Rename, hit OK. Thank you for watching.